So I wanted to take the time to address a question that I hear or see frequently, and it is, help, I just planted a new hydrangea and it's wilting. Now this one is a very mild example of that wilt. You can see I just planted this a couple of days ago and it was in full flower. If I get up close on the flowers, you can see that it's drooping. However, if I were to go down and check the soil, you can see, hopefully, that it is nice and damp. So it's not a moisture issue. What it is really is a newly planted issue, especially when it comes to hydrangeas. I'm gonna show you one that's a little bit worse off and give you an idea of what I'm gonna do to solve it. So here's the issue, or here's the worse for wear hydrangea. Notice that it is much droopier than its cousin over there. And it's just sad, and clearly it's nice and well watered. Notice the holes there. And the challenge is you don't want to overwater it thinking that doing so will get it to perk back up. What's really happening is that this is a hydrangea that was planted on Mother's Day, came straight from a greenhouse, and it was big and beautiful in flower. This is a macrophylla hydrangea, or a big leaf hydrangea. They like the shade, which it is in very good shade here. So it's not a matter of too much sun. It's just it needs a chance to quote unquote get its life before it can become its full glory in the future. So what I have to do is a little painful, but it is something that will save your plant, and that is snip off the flowers. I know it's tough, and typically on these big leaf hydrangeas you don't want to prune them at all, because they are the type that bloom on old wood, meaning that they are setting next year's bloom buds on this year's growth. So you want to avoid pruning these. It's best to put them in a place where you never have to cut it. But again, here we are, a newly planted hydrangea that was in full bloom. It's gonna need to be able to reserve some of that energy into establishing its root system versus keeping these flowers alive. So I'm gonna help it out and do the painful thing, which is to come down, hey Aunt, right below the flower bud and just snip it. Bye bye. I'm gonna do that all around. I'll show you again. Hopefully you can see where I'm going down to. Let me get a better angle here. So notice I'm following the flower bud head down to the first set of leaves and cutting it right off. And I'm going to do that to all of them, again in the effort to save the plant and make sure that it is focusing all of its energy on establishing a root system. So don't overwater your babies. I'll do the rest of it off camera. If the soil is moist and it's in good shade, like macrophyllas like to be, cut off the blooms. And this is actually true of any perennial. Annuals should rebound with no problem, but if you've got a perennial or a shrub that's in flower and it's newly planted and it's looking sad, cut off the flowers. You'll be happy you did come this time next year.